Hi everyone, I'm Mike Bryan. I'm happy to have here today Cassie Riffee. She's the sales director at Primrose Retirement Communities here in Zanesville. Thanks for coming here today, Cassie. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
And as you know, we're trying to update things on our website to make sure we have the most current information for folks that might have questions about assisted living care. And so glad to update all of this. First things first, what's the best contact information for you? The address, phone, email?
So you can get a hold of me. Our number at Primrose is 740-450-1100. You can also reach me on my cell phone, 740-704-5676, or email as well, which is cassandra.riffee@primroseretirement.com. You can also come and just find us. Our address is 4212 North Point Drive, located in Zanesville. We're right after the Spectrum building on the right-hand side on North Point.
Got it. Okay. And I know that on your website as well, it looks like there's the ability to see floor plans and even virtual tours if folks would like to take a look at that. And they can request information directly through the website. But I imagine one of the easiest ways is to just give you a call and get the information there.
Yep. So even when you go on the website, if you do request that information, it does come directly to me. But either way is totally fine. But it kind of helps to be able to narrow down what exactly you are looking for, because we do have a couple different options. So, yeah.
And there's one other thing that I noticed just earlier today, actually, was there was a link about downsizing tips. Which I thought was interesting, because I know a lot of folks go through that, where you have even if it's not a large home, trying to figure out what to do with furniture and kitchen utensils and all of those things that add up over the years. Looks like that was something folks could download as well.
Yeah, it's a great tool. There's a couple different things on there, cost comparisons on things of what all utilities and things that are going into paying at your home that you might not think about, as well as, like you said, the downsizing and what that can look like, just to kind of give you tips and tricks on what to look for when you do make a move. So
makes sense. And of course, several links to social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Instagram for the younger folks. I still don't have Instagram yet, even though my stepdaughters are trying to get me to do that. I don't know if that'll ever happen, but those are all useful too.
We stay very active on Facebook. I encourage people to definitely check out Facebook. You can kind of check out some of the activities and stuff that we do, things going on in the community, some of the residents, just to see their smiles.
Sure.
It's a great thing. So yeah, definitely social media is a big part of it.
That is good. Well, so if you can let folks know what services are generally provided. I know you essentially have 3 different types of living arrangements there. Can you describe those for us?
Yeah, so we have assisted living, we have independent living, and then we also have townhome villas, all of which, so the assisted living and independent living are located inside of the building, and then we have 8 townhome villas that are located, outside of the building.
Right.
Still on the property, very beautiful, all of them, but just a couple different options for people and kind of where it is in their life and what makes the most sense for them.
And when someone's looking at independent living versus townhome, what are the things that would lean them one way or the other?
So our villas are a lot larger in size. The independent living is again located inside the building. So thinking about things like mobility, if we're kind of struggling with mobility, might be a good idea to kind of maybe look at the independent living inside of the building versus the outside. But really both, you get the same great amenities there. You do get 1 meal a day and housekeeping, laundry services, things like that. Really the space is the biggest difference between the villa and the independent living inside of the building.
And then if someone needs a little bit more care, then they look at assisted living.
Yes.
And I understand there are kind of different levels of care that you guys provide there.
Yeah. So really kind of looking at it more of like a full continuity of care, if you will. Coming over to a retirement community, we have a lot of great things like socialization. That is a big, draw-in factor. But as the aging process happens and needing more care, you don't have to go anywhere else. You can stay right there at Primrose. And just transition into assisted living, where we can help, give you more care, such as managing your medications, maybe helping with your ADLs, activities of daily living, bathing and dressing and things like that. So it's, once you become a family member of Primrose, the whole goal is for you to be able to stay there. We don't want to have, we don't want you to go anywhere else. That's your home. That becomes their home.
Sure.
So it's just being able to offer them as many services as possible to keep them there.
Well, and I think, assisted living is much different than people used to think of assisted living.
Definitely.
I think it seems now to cover a wider array of care than would be able to be provided before.
Absolutely, yeah. Those 6 levels of care really give us that opportunity to be able to provide, an extensive amount of care to these residents. We also contract with home health agencies and hospice agencies as well. So in bringing in their help as well, we can really give them as much care as possible.
Okay. And I understand you guys have the ability to help with transportation too for folks.
We do, yeah. So our transportation is actually a part of what you get in your rent. So our bus is available Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays to take our residents to doctor's appointments or, to go get their hair done, go to the store, whatever the case might be. Mondays and Fridays we go on outings. Just depending on what the residents want to do. Our bus is being used for that, but all the way from our assisted living to our townhome villa residents, they can all take, part in the transportation.
Okay.
A big piece of that too, like for those independent living residents and the townhome villa residents, a lot of them still drive, but wintertime is coming, right? And, if you don't want to have to worry about going out in the snow or the ice or starting up your car, you can just take the bus and there's no extra cost for that.
Okay. That's a nice feature as well.
Yeah.
And one of the other items I noticed on the website was the telehealth program, which is a relatively new program, I understand.
Yes.
Can you please describe what that is?
Yeah, so it's a Vel eCare, and basically what it is a group of physicians with the telehealth available to our residents for anything that might come up. The whole goal is to try to keep our residents out of the hospital if possible. So, if one of our residents is starting to have, flu-like symptoms or, something like that happens, we are able to get a hold of a physician very quickly, and they can diagnose them and get some medications on board for them without them having to go out to their own physician or even out to the hospital.
Okay.
So they're able to prescribe medications or order imaging, things like that for these residents to try to keep them in the building as much as possible. Okay. It's also free, so that was one of the big things that I thought was amazing. So that way they don't have to pay anything extra, and it's also like the billing piece of it. If they need to follow up with their primary care physician, they're able to do so because of the billing side of it. There's not 2 sides of the billing part of it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Add some flexibility there.
Absolutely. Yep.
Now, how many rooms are there available inside the facility?
We have 68 rooms inside of the building.
Okay.
Yep.
And then townhomes on the outside.
Yep.
Okay. And as far as the rooms inside, what's the general layout look like?
So we have 1-bedroom options. We have 2-bedroom, 2-bath options. We have 2-bedroom, 1.5-bath options. So we have a big variety. One of the things is our building is what they call dually certified. So even if you are an assisted living resident and you want to be in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath option, you can absolutely do that.
Okay.
So they don't have to necessarily move rooms to a smaller room to be an assisted living resident, which is, that's a big thing for people. Once they make that move, maybe they don't want to downsize once they need more care. So they're able to have that.
Okay. And what other types of activities, social activities and things are available there?
We do all kinds of things. We've got a euchre club. We're doing, we love crafts. We have a lot of live entertainment that comes in. As I mentioned before, we like to do outings and things like that. So we're always doing something, keeping those residents moving.
Right.
So, not a shortage of things to do.
That's good. Now, I know that when folks are looking for places for care for a loved one, there's a lot of different places to choose from. And, I always like to ask the question, what sets Primrose apart?
I think for me, the big thing is the longevity in our staff. Primrose just feels like family. I can't explain it any better than that. It just feels like family when you walk through the door. And I think a big piece of that is the longevity. Our director of nursing has been there for 15 years with us.
Okay.
Our director of dining services has been there for 15 years. And we also have a few aides that have also been there that long. It's just a culture that you are coming into when you choose Primrose.
So that's a pretty rare thing to have that length of time.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, especially in our healthcare field right now. You know, it's a struggle, I think.
Yeah.
So I think that truly is what sets Primrose apart. Is, you know, you're coming into a culture and a family-like setting. You know, they become our family 100%. Not just the residents, but their families as well become our family.
Makes sense. Well, so, you know, after someone's had a tour with you, you know, had the other questions answered, if they're ready to move forward with everything, of course, they'd have to sign an agreement and do all the normal things. And if they have questions about that packet, they would just take that home with them, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But then after everything is signed and they're ready to go, what is move-in day like?
So move-in day can actually look a couple different ways, again, depending on what works best for the resident. So we've had people that have gotten the room ready prior to, you know, their loved one coming in, so that way it makes it a little less stressful for them, so they can just kind of walk into their new home and, you know, everything's kind of set and ready to go. Or you can do it all in the same day, bringing that stuff in, getting things set up. We're going to be there to greet you and kind of walk you through what everything looks like. The nursing staff's going to come in and kind of do an assessment and go through some medications and things like that. But really, it's you know, it's an amazing feeling. I think it can be overwhelming in full transparency for sure. But I think that the way that we structure it is we have the staff there to kind of help guide and provide, you know, anything that the family might need, whether that is, you know, dollies to help moving furniture, our maintenance guy, they're willing to help with, you know, TV setups, things like that. So they're kind of helping to buffer through that.
That's good. That's good. Well, and you know, one of the other questions I get all the time is how do I pay for care? And there, you know, folks can pay privately. They can use long-term care insurance and veterans pension benefits, I understand.
Yep, absolutely.
So those are all programs that are available there. But, you know, I think this gives us a pretty good overview of what Primrose is like and what to expect. So I thank you for providing all that information. And for all of you out there, I hope that is helpful for you. And certainly if you have other questions, be sure to reach out to Cassie. I'm sure she'd be happy to help. So
be happy to help.
Well, until next time, everyone, thanks for watching today, and we'll talk to you soon.